here traveling in Greece and I'm on the island of Naxos. I found this great abandoned hotel. I think the hotel was built, it was never built up inside. It just was never developed. And there's all this amazing graffiti painted all around it. So I'm using my Leica M6 and I have some Berlin 400 ISO film, black and white film from Lomography. I'm gonna try this out here. I think it should be really good. I've never shot this film before and I'm looking for a really gritty, nostalgic look. And I think inside here with all these, all this painted graffiti, I think this could be a really interesting look. So I have a roll of film I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna photograph kind of the architecture, and there's some cool light, and of course, some of these great pieces that are painted on here, and try this film out and see what it's like, and I'll show you guys the results. And like I've always said before on my YouTube, it's always great if you're gonna try a new film to test it out. My regular black and white film is Tri-X that I shoot all the time that I love. But I'm gonna give this a shot and see what it looks like, see what kind of prints it makes. And I think it might be a really interesting film for this place. Yeah, this place is really cool. Some great artwork on the walls here. Metering here is quite easy. Everything is gray. It's kind of gray brick and slate. You just take a meter reading off the gray and that's going to be your exposure. It's actually super easy to meter in here.
I love days like this. Days where you can just roam around with a camera and look for photos. Days when you're not in a rush. These are the days that help me expand my vision as a photographer. Where you can experiment, try new things. Sometimes things don't work. Oftentimes things don't work. But when they do, it's really rewarding. Metering in tricky lighting situations like this, side light, spotlight, top light, it really helps you understand how light works on a subject and where to meter to get that desired effect.
This place is really fascinating. Some great street art on the walls here. Reminds me about 6 or 7 years ago, I was hired in Toronto and they had this big building, 8 stories, all of graffiti, and I documented everything before they refurbished the building and built the building up and built an art gallery. And I documented all the art on the walls, and they actually had a show of it in Toronto. And this place reminds me a lot of that, just really interesting street art all over the walls here. This is a really cool place to visit for sure.
This was a great exercise using Lomography's Berlin 400 ISO film. In the end, inside, I thought the film worked really well. It has a really nice grain structure. I like the look of the grain on it. It has a really wide dynamic range. I was really surprised on how well it held the highlights. Almost better than my Leica M240 in some circumstances. So I really like that. It has a very nice organic, soft feel. I made a couple prints. This is a print from the Berlin 400 film. This is a print from my M240 Leica digital camera, and they're quite different. The Berlin film, it's softer. It's, like I said, I love using that word organic. It's just more of a real type of look. And depending on the type of paper you choose to print on it, it is just a lovely film. It works really, really well. The digital, of course, it can have a digital look very quickly if you're not careful. Again, you have to think of what paper you're going to print on. I like making prints after big trips like this, and I make prints all the time. I'm actually going to do a video on that, on why you should make prints and making prints and my process that I use to make prints. For the outdoor pictures, I did find the Berlin film just too contrasty for my liking. It got very grainy very quickly. It was hard to control. I might be able to control that better in a real darkroom working print. These are inkjet prints, of course, but outside I wasn't as big a fan on it. The digital Leica seemed to work better, but this wasn't really a comparison at all. I still love shooting with my M6 film camera, and of course the M6 is in the news now with Leica releasing their latest M6 camera. My camera is over 25 years old. Love the M6, never gonna sell it. It's just gonna be in the family forever with those lenses. The Leica lenses, of course, they're just wonderful glass to use. But as I was saying, this is a great exercise to do just to help you see as a photographer. Hope you liked this trip to the islands in Greece. We had a marvelous time there. Great food, great people, just a great country and a great place to make photographs. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Cheers.